Hi, I'm Drew with I Fix Things, and today we're going to work on a 2010 Chevy Cobalt LT. We're going to change the front struts. So before we start, you're going to need an 18 millimeter socket wrench, 12 millimeters as well, and you may have, if you have ABS brakes, you're going to have to take off the ABS bracket on the strut before you drop the strut. So grab those tools. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. Let's get to it. So we have the 12 millimeter bolts, 3 of them up here. You're gonna wanna loosen those and drop those down after you jack up your car. We've jacked the car up here. We've got it jacked at the frame. If you wanna throw a jack stand underneath there, you can as well. Let me just grab my light here. Got the light here. Let me just hang this baby up here. Hang this up here. So you're going to have to take off your 18 millimeter bolt, which ties your sway bar link in. So this sway bar link is going to have to come out. So you got an 18 millimeter on the back and an 18 on the front. Go ahead and take that down, and then you have to remove this ABS bracket here. It's, I think it's an 18 millimeter wrench or nut in here. Drop that so you don't want to hurt your ABS. And then we're going to just take off these 2 bolts here. These will be your 18 millimeter bolts that are holding on the strut. And then once you do that, just support it underneath here. Support it down here with a jack. We'll get this jack in here in a minute. Show you how to do that. So you just want to put your jack. I'll grab this jack here. Just grab your jack and put it down in here. So anywhere just on the back of the sway bar link, or the sway bar actually. And just kind of jack it up right. Let's see if I can get you to see here. Right under here, the lower control arm. So take the lower control arm. Sorry, I'm in the way of my jack, but that's all right. So just kind of support it right there. You don't have to take it too high. Just support it under there, and that'll help get off these bolts. So right now, let's go ahead and take off these 12 millimeter bolts up top. We'll loosen those up, and we'll drop the 18s on the bottom, and we'll get to it. All right, so we're gonna take off these 3. They're usually 12s, but these are 13s, so you just have to check and see which size you have. These must have been replaced at some point. These are torqued down to 22 foot-pounds of torque, which this one doesn't even look like it was torqued down to nothing. But go ahead and take these bolts off here. You can use a air tool if you have one, or just a regular socket set. I'll go ahead and take these off. There you go. Let me go ahead and grab my air tool. I'll be right back. We'll get these off. All right, next you're gonna want to take off the sway bar link nut. It's an 18 on the front, so let's just go ahead and take that off. That'll come off. Hold the back on. It's another 18 millimeter. Put a wrench on the back there. Let me grab one. So once you get that 18 loose here on the sway bar link, you just take it off all the way. Oops, you don't drop your nut, but you can push the link out the back and just kind of leave it there. Now we're going to remove these 2 18 millimeter bolts that are on this side over here. So we'll take out these 2 18 millimeters, and that'll drop off the knuckle, and it'll take off the strut. All right, these 2 bolts here on this side, I'm gonna mark these because I don't know if these are camber or toe. So I'm just gonna kind of mark them that they go this way. And then this one, I'm just gonna mark the edge here, and it should line up right there. Oops, to the closest one to us. There you go, close one. And then this one is gonna be right there. All right, so we got those marked. Now let's just take those off. 18 millimeter socket. Put it on this side, come at it with an air tool, take it off. All right, so we'll take off these 2 18s right here. One's here. One. And then the lower one down here. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. Right down there. That one comes off. And now we just need to drive out these bolts here. This whole strut will come out, and then we'll put the new one in. you may have to pound them out. Just put your nut back on it, backwards, this way. See that? You just put your nut on, reverse. Oh, we take the ABS sensor wire off. And then we just put our bolt back on backwards. And that way we can tap it, give it a little love tap with a hammer, and this should pop out. All right, here we go. Just tap, 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 tap. Yep, should just come right out. Let's see if we can go up a little bit with this. We'll just let it down a little bit. Take off some of that pressure. Right, now we're just gonna go ahead and give these a tap out. Maybe. There we go. See, they're grooved on the side, so they go in straight. All right, and we'll take this one out. Careful not to hit your ABS wires. Then you can take off your nuts all the way. Those will come out. There you have it. Now you just pull out your bolts like such. Just wiggle them out of there. Try not to lose your marks of where those babies were. All right, so now that we got the bolts out of here and the sway bar link off of here, and the bolts on top are out, we're just gonna go ahead and push this out. See how it just kind of comes out like that, and then just drop it down and bring it out the front here. And there's your old strut gone. Now we'll just put the new ones in reverse. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the new strut right here. We're gonna take it and feed it through the top and put these 3 bolts in on the top like we did before when we took it out. And then we're gonna reassemble it the way that it came apart in reverse. Don't forget to have this part of the strut facing out. That's the way it's gonna go back on. All right, let's get to it. Okay, now when you go ahead and put these back in, just take off the bolts that are on top of the strut. Make sure you have the right strut for the right side. This is the left side. So this strut is for the left side. It will only go in one way. If you have the wrong one, you won't be able to get it in. So go ahead and feed that one up through there, and you'll put the bolts back on up here, and then we'll tie it in back down here with the 218s. All right, here we go. Okay, so I fed the strut up and positioned it up through the top. So it's just kind of sitting here right now, but I've got the bolt started right here. So just want to get your bolts up through the top here, and then put them on one at a time. Don't drop them, because inevitably if you drop it, they get hung up somewhere where you can't reach them. So the other one I'm gonna have to feed through center the strut. So tighten these up a little bit, and then we'll get back to the bottom. Okay, once you've got these 3 just tightened up, we'll come back down here, and we're gonna work on getting all this assembly back together right here. We'll put the 218s through there, and then we'll get the sway bar link back on over here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so now we're going to connect the 218s back down here, and then we'll put the sway bar link back in. So let's get these 2 mounted in here real quick. Now that we got the top kind of situated. So we'll take the 2 bolts that were in there, and we'll go ahead and just start those off, kind of get them situated here. Let's see where we got to go with this. I'm gonna have to drop down just a tad. Try as it got to go. Needs to go down, of course. Let's bring it down. There we go. A little bit down, and then let's see. Now we'll bring it a little bit up. That's how it always works. Up, up. There we go. So we'll put this in here. Get that started. I'll get the other one started through the bottom here. Okay. Just want to make sure that they're not too tight. A little too tight there. All right. I'm gonna just draw them in a little bit. this side here. Just drive them in. We'll get those in, and we'll get back to doing the other ones. So we got these two 18s started through here, and then we're going to go ahead and put the sway bar link back into here and tighten that up. Make sure you get your ABS bracket on if you have that. It's a great time to go ahead and put that in place so you just don't forget it. Bring the bottom bolt through, and we'll get those buttoned up. This one up here gets torqued down to 60 foot-pounds, and then these bottom ones here at 100 pounds, and then the top ones will be torqued down to about 22, 25 pounds. So we got the two 18s tightened up. We're gonna bring the sway bar link and we're gonna put it in the hole, but you may have to jack up the car a little bit underneath the control arm, on the lower control arm. So just put a jack under there and just kind of give it a couple cranks down until you see this. See the hole coming up here, and it should come up right to the point where you can put this sway bar link right through there. Button that up, and you put the nut on the front and tighten that up to 60 foot-pounds of torque, and make sure these are down to 100 foot-pounds. And then you'll take the top here after you let the car down, tighten these up to about 25 foot-pounds of torque. When you have that done, put your tire back on. Use your 19mm socket to tighten up your lugs. Make sure you've got those down to about 88 foot-pounds of torque as well. And then you can say, like me, I fix things. And so I hope this helped. If you like it, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time we're working on something that you can fix.